Dr. Katherine Roberts. She's a graduate from UNF, and they have a very innovative community resource distribution program from the Melrose Fire Station, which serves Alachua, Bradford, Putnam, and parts of Clay, right?
Correct.
And so I'm very excited to introduce her to you today. At the Putnam SafetyNet Alliance, they had their whole team there. Unfortunately, the whole team couldn't be here today. But Katherine, thanks for being with us. And please share with us some of the innovative, out-of-the-box strategies that you use to share resources in your district. And
Okay, good morning everyone. Again, my name is Katherine Roberts. I work at Melrose Fire Rescue Station 24 as the fire chaplain, and I am also the Associate Director of Melrose CRP, which is an offshoot of Melrose Fire Rescue. I do. Is it only recording? Is it not projecting my voice? Okay. So I need to speak louder is what you're saying? Okay. Thank you. Yes, and Melrose CRP is an offshoot of Melrose Fire Rescue Department. So I'm here to talk to you today about why Melrose CRP was created and what we do for our community. So first of all, what is CRP? CRP stands for Community Resource Paramedicine, and it's a relatively new model of healthcare in the country. There are only a handful of active CRP programs across the nation. And its purpose is to empower paramedics and emergency medical technicians to provide expanded healthcare and preventive services to the community, to underserved communities specifically. CRP is especially suited to rural areas where it's very common for healthcare to be more difficult to access. In those areas, there's often a tendency for a high demand on emergency resources for non-emergent care. So this makes CRP an excellent fit for Melrose because we do serve the rural communities of 4 counties. The general objectives of a CRP program include reducing hospital readmissions. We do that by bridging the gap between the care that happens in the hospital setting and outpatient care at home. We also bring healthcare to the individual by providing which is especially valuable for outpatients with little to no transportation, which is again a very common thing in rural areas. We connect patients to available health resources in the surrounding areas, and we assist with post-hospital follow-up care. We provide health education, thereby reducing rates of low health literacy and reducing 911 requests for non-emergent care. So before I continue, I want to tell you a little bit more about how we got started. About a year ago, a few of us at Melrose Fire Rescue were talking about some of the trends we were noticing in the calls we were receiving, particularly the number of non-emergent calls. So MFRD receives about 900 calls a year, and 60% of those, roughly, are non-emergent. All the calls that we were going to most frequently were dialing 911 like 3 times a year, and always for non-emergent medical reasons. So we realized 2 things. One, most of our resources were being tied up in non-emergency situations, meaning that we don't have as many resources available for an actual emergency. And 2, we have a lot of people in our community with low health literacy who need help dealing with managing their disease at home. So those realizations were really the catalyst for the creation of Melrose CRP. We're a very new program. Like I said, we've only been around for about a year. And so we're very focused on remaining flexible in order to meet the needs of our community. It's very important to us that as we grow, we're accommodating the real needs that exist in the communities that we serve. So far, our focus is on connecting the public with health resources such as educational handouts, financial assistance programs, food pantries, counseling programs, medical transportation solutions, etc. We provide home safety inspections, helping homeowners identify fire hazards inside the home and around their property, and also providing education in disaster preparedness. We provide health literacy resources in the areas of disease management, living an active lifestyle, smoking cessation, nutrition, and mental health. And we connect the public with activities of daily living resources, such as ambulatory assistive devices, having wheelchair ramps installed, self-care and caregiver education. And lastly, we're focused on strengthening interconnection within communities by fostering communication, promoting resource sharing, and in the future, we intend to host community building events as well. So our goals for Melrose CRP include increasing health literacy and interconnection in our communities, reducing suicide rates by providing a personal connection and information and resources to people who are suffering from suicidal ideation, reducing hospital readmission rates, reducing the number of non-emergent 911 calls, and reducing disparities in provision of healthcare and access to healthcare. A few announcements that we have. Right now, we have a lot of Vial of Life in stock at the station. So the community can come into the station and get one of these Vials of Life free of charge. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Vial of Life system, I think it's amazing. It's very simple. You fill out one of these cards with your personal information, your medical information, allergies, etc. You fold it up and it goes inside one of these vials. This vial is then put in the door of your refrigerator, and this decal is put on your front door. This decal alerts emergency personnel that you have one of these Vials of Life in your fridge. So if we show up at your house and for some reason you're incapacitated and cannot speak for yourself, we see this decal and we immediately know where to find your information. So it's an excellent system, and we have these available at the station for the community free of charge.
Sorry.
You're fine.
My drops.
In efforts to do our part to address the opioid crisis, we have Narcan available on all of our trucks, and we can also put the community in touch with deactivation bags via the University of Florida. And lastly, Melrose CRP has partnered with UF Health Street, which grants us the ability to have certified community health workers on our roster. And what that means is that we can address the issues in the community without taking our fire trucks out of service. So it's an excellent partnership for us. And lastly, our needs. Our current needs include information on available activities of daily living and public health resources in Putnam, Bradford, Clay, and Alachua counties. We're always interested in information on funding sources, and we're also always interested in information on the needs in the area. As I said earlier, we are very, very focused on remaining flexible to the needs in our community, and so we can't do that without information on what those needs are. So we're always open to that information. And that is the end of my presentation, and I thank you for your attention. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
Who's funding this program?
Currently, we're just kind of throwing it all together with the resources that we have. We have received grants for things like the Vial of Life, but honestly, a lot of the costs have come out of pocket from the members, so just trying to get it started because we do believe in the value of the program.
Are you looking at any hospitals and trying to get some data to show them to hopefully get
Eventually.
at some point?
Eventually, yes. We would like to have data to go into hospitals and show them the value of the program and hopefully get their interest in supporting us. Yes.
Who's going out on these calls? Like when you determine that it's a non-emergent call, who is going out?
So it would be fire station personnel, but how we connect with the public for Melrose CRP purposes is really very wide open. They could approach us, at the supermarket if we're doing blood pressure checks. However it happens, there is an enrollment process. So we recognize the need, we're made aware of the need. They're given the opportunity to enroll in the program. Once they enroll, they have access to the resources and services that we provide. Any other questions? Yes.
I have 2 questions. Do you have, I know Melrose is from where the high school is in Keystone, you're only like a stone's
Yeah,
throw, like
not
5
far.
miles at the most.
Yeah.
So I can see where you're probably servicing calls in that area.
Yes.
Do you have a memorandum of understanding if we have an emergency that like a parent who has no health care, could I refer them to you?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, if anybody in the community is aware of a need, they can, put us on the trail and we'll follow up.
do you have any, are you working with Azalea Health, which I know their home is in?
Yes, Azalea Health is one of the centers that we're trying to form a connection with. We haven't established it yet, but we have been in contact with them.
Can we talk later?
Absolutely.
Sometime, because I think I can help you with the Azalea.
That would be wonderful. Thank
They
you.
are our partner. They sign on as a partner to the community school in Keystone.
Fantastic. That would be great. Was that, you had 2 questions? Did I get both of them?
That was
Okay. Yes.
Are you working with any of the Medicare HMOs or Medicaid HMOs?
That I'm not at this time, and I don't know what our plans are in that department. I'd have to refer to my director.
Okay, if you have any need for help with that, if you'd like to give me a call, I'm glad to help you.
Thank you. Did you have?
So, do you know of any other programs in any other counties that are doing this?
There is a CRP program in Gainesville. It's a little different than ours, but we complement each other very well. Other than that, in the immediate area, I do not know of any other CRP programs.
So, who started it? Is there a national body, or how would we get this into our county?
Anybody can start up a CRP program. It's ideal for fire stations simply because of the position that the fire service is in. We are on the ground, we're going into people's homes, seeing them in their most vulnerable moments, and they typically trust us enough to tell us what's going on. And so a fire department is in an ideal situation to start a CRP program.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
The file on file, how has that worked for the county?
The what?
Get a lot of individuals coming in with that information from the paramedics?
What, the Vial of Life?
Vial of Life.
We do, yeah, the community loves the Vial of Life. We've actually had events where we're passing them out at booths, and we've had people come into the station to pick them up. What exactly was your
As
question?
far as when they're admitted to the hospital, are the paramedics noticing that that sign is on the front door, that the information is there to save, information as far as medications being given to that patient when they're
I don't have information on how it's working out in actual practice so far. That would be a very good thing to measure. Sorry, I can't answer that better.
That's good. I think it's a great program. We're hoping to start that as well up here.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Your contact information?
Oh, yes. I have sheets on the back table with the contact information for every member of our team. It also has a list of our needs and our goals for Melrose CRP. So if there are no other questions, I think that's it. Thank you very much.